How's it going, Sha?
All told, not bad. Yeah.
Hey, man, I like
How are
that.
you doing?
I'm good. I'm a little concerned about my corner store.
Which one?
The closest corner store.
Okay.
I've noticed a pivot in their business model.
Hmm.
They've removed, I would say, 20% of the rack space, and they've added 2 televisions. It is more of a bar, I would say now.
Oh, they're making it like a social club?
Yeah, like they got like a lot, like they're playing all the games from other countries, and it becomes like a Spanish bar hangout. So like they got like La Serie del Caribe baseball games playing, which is like the World Series of the Caribbean
Okay.
baseball teams. That's always on. Soccer during the day.
Mhm.
They got like I saw Lucha Libre.
Oh, shit.
Straight up. Like they had and they went deep cut, not just Mexican. They had like Dominican wrestling. Like, I don't even know how you get that channel out here. And yo, straight up, dude, like that's like niche. And they like they're catering to like people that are like want to drink but don't got bar money, because you can buy the beer regular price. Completely not legal. But a community necessity.
Yeah.
But for me, it sucks because, like, I don't do that. It's a clear pivot away from what
What
I
you
need in my
needed.
bodega. Yeah,
Yeah.
like this is a place where, like, I could get sandwiches from. Like now, like when I go to order a sandwich, I'm like interrupting the flow.
Mhm.
They're like, this dude want to like make noise and shit with the machine now while we trying to watch the game.
Hmm.
Also, while I'm cool with almost everyone that's there, it's not quite a kid environment anymore. So like I get my kids in there to do shit. Like I feel like it becomes more of a grown-up space.
Right.
So like there's little nuances that, like, I'm not against the idea of my community having it, but I'm losing some. I'm sad.
Yeah.
By the same token, I'm seeing my dad a lot more. He loves the place. I
Wow.
have consistently found my dad next door for like 3 weeks now. Like every time I just go outside, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm watching the game." Like, no doubt, man. So yeah, it's hit and miss. I'm sad to lose my my easy access to certain things. Like there's like less shelf space has been dedicated to Arizonas and Gatorades. You know, definitely the cold cut sandwiches get turned off earlier. Like usually, like the place closed at 11, you get cold cut sandwiches till 10
Right.
before they clean the machine. Now, like my man shuts it down at like 7,
Oh,
because
shit.
that's not the business anymore. The business is catering to the people drinking and watching. He'll do microwavable foods. So like beef patties, still easy access.
Okay.
But like, if I gotta turn on that machine, he ain't doing it. He's like, nah, be like, I don't got nobody back there right now. Like, but I got people taking beer orders. This is a whole different demo.
Okay.
A lot of salty snacks.
Sure.
The chips and the peanuts and stuff like that through the roof. A lot of variety right now. A lot of brands I never heard of. You know what I mean? Like, I almost feel like some of these potato chips are homemade. Like he's making them himself and just putting them in plastic.
No,
But
I mean, no. If you go to a remotely gentrified like corner store,
yeah,
you will be shocked at what is happening with chips.
right. Yo, they doing a lot.
They are doing so much, and it's wild because I mean, when you go to a corner store in the hood, there's already a lot going on with chips.
Real talk.
They are testing out a lot of a lot of things on the people in the hood. They are giving us various flaming hot cancers, right? But then there's a whole other world White folks are eating chips that have some weird, subtle truffle flavor or some shit. So when you
Yeah.
see that stuff come into you're like, huh, interesting. You got to change your palate, which is hard because it's been blown out by nacho cheese. Like I can't, it's, it's tough. It's tough. Like
Yeah.
that's been my struggle. Is just like, these are potato chips made out of rice? What? Huh? What are we
Yeah, like
doing?
they're frying everything, yo.
Yes, yes, they really are.
Real
So
talk.
that's but before we even get it, I really want to get into and understand why possibly they made this change. If you've ever seen a store make a change like this before, because I used to go on in the big early extremely scary days of COVID, I would go on little walks to keep sane, my little stupid sanity walks. And I would walk up and down Central Ave, and there was a little store, um, just a garden variety bodega. Um, and they kind of in the middle of the block, if that helps. It wasn't a corner store. It was in the middle
Okay.
of the block, but it was next to like an empty lot. And they would set up like a grill sometimes, and I don't think that was for the customers. I think sometimes the dudes who hung out there just like to grill out. That's fine.
Okay.
They had chairs, occasionally a little light situation. They were there and they just kind of hung out, but it was still a corner store. You didn't feel weird going in to get stuff,
Yeah.
right? And then I remember walking by it uh after a couple of years after I'm seeing it for the first time. I remember walking by, and they had made a shift, and they had gone into like a smoker's lounge. This was right
Mm.
around the time when uh, all these weird like corner stores were being bought and turned into weed spots
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, but not legit. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly you know what I mean? So they had paraphernalia, and maybe they had weed. They certainly had CBD stuff, but they may have had stuff with THC. Who really, nothing seemed regulated, and everything just seemed to be neon green and purple lights. And and a weird little like stand-up amp that they played music through. And that seems to be what's happening.
Yeah.
Right? So it kind of became one of those, but kind of a mellow one of those, and they went like smokers lounge. So they turned the lights down low on the inside. They had like couches, and they were just like, "Hey, come in here to like smoke." I don't think they had televisions or anything, but it just became more of a smokers lounge that sold some of that stuff than like a corner. It just, the corner store vibe was gone. It was
Oh.
it was just straight up smokers lounge, and still the same dudes were kind of hanging out in front, but inside, like, there was mood lighting and couches, and I was like, "Yo, that's a place that's too small even for that." But that's a what an interesting pivot. And
Yeah.
now I don't even think they're open anymore. I think they did that for 6 to 8 months and then they closed.
Huh.
But I was just like, "What, with all the stoops out here and all the people who are," it was kinda like but it wasn't as like as garish as a hookah lounge, although I'm sure you could smoke hookah in there.
Yeah.
The vibe was definitely like smokers lounge, and I was like, "What is this? What a weird way to go with this now that you're carrying this stuff." So and also I was like, "Are you okay to do that?" Because they didn't put up like the neon and all the other things. They didn't. They just kind of removed the signage, and you just picked up on the vibe as you walked by it. It was really strange, and so that's what I think of when I think of like your bodega now becoming a bootleg tavern,
Yo.
right? Like, have they? So they put in the TVs, but is there like new seating? Like, have they gone full in of just like, here are seats for you, or is it just people hanging out drinking, but they've made space for all of that? Like,
There's no seats. There's a lot of impromptu like standing tables.
okay, so
Yeah.
okay,
They got
but
like spaces where you could put like your drink in, like talk. There's like
all
three of
right.
those, I would say.
Oh, so like
Um,
tall tall tables, like
Yeah,
tall
they're like
tops.
tall
Okay.
tables. That like I also think conveniently could be like made to look like shelves.
Mm.
But I do think there's like a level of like we can't be doing this. So like if somebody pop in, it just looks like, oh, we about to put something on there.
Putting on right. Okay.
You know? There's uh there's a change in what's being hung up at the front of the store. So
Mm.
like all the like immediate items, a lot of hookah stuff, a
Right.
lot of domino stuff.
Wait, what's
Um
domino stuff? Is that a
like there's
brand
like a domino
papers?
table. No, like
Oh, like
the
dominoes.
games. Yeah, like you could play dominoes, they sell the tables.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like they've made a pivot to like this is a guy's like late night hangout. Um Also weirdly a lot of like men's like clothing. Like they got like
Yo.
polo shirts. They got what's the term for like tank tops? I didn't want to say like the negative.
Nah, just go with tank tops, undershirts, whatever we wanna
Yeah, like they
yeah.
got like undershirts, polo shirts, like with collars.
Okay. So
You know what I mean?
this has become a men's club. Are there ever any women in there hanging out?
Very rarely.
Or
There
even
have been,
shopping?
yeah, like there's purposefully. That's the other thing I noticed. It's the only bodega near me with 2 women on staff,
Yeah, you
and they're
need the
like
2 women on
specific.
s yeah.
Yeah, like they're like the ones definitely like they're cooking, and the other one's there to like get drinks, and it's like definitely like a flirtatious sale,
Mm.
like you know, just to kind of keep the dudes like in a drinking vibe.
Yo, so this is like a men's club.
Straight up. And it's a bodega in every other way. During the day, it's more bodega. Like I would say, like in the morning, you still get your bacon, egg, and cheeses. It
Right.
still has like the minimum bodega necessities.
Yeah.
But like after like 6 is definitely not a spot that like I don't feel comfortable sending my kids there. It's just
Right.
like beyond that, where like, oh, this is definitely an adult men's environment.
Yo, that's insane. Like, there's so much to unpack with that. Like, why did they think that was necessary for the neighborhood? Like, who
Yeah.
dictated it? Did the owners go, "Let's make this a thing," or were they seeing a trend of
Yeah.
or like that's why I'm fascinated by this.
Straight up, a whole pivot. It's been like aggressively that. And it was pretty fast. I would say there was like a month of like in between, and then like there was like a day where he was like, yo, no more half stepping. And he just like took out like 2 of the racks just disappeared.
Oh,
Uh
wow.
and the only reason I really knew about it is because he hit me up one day. He was like, yo, you mind if I because I'm the house next door. He had like
Mhm.
an old sofa that he had in the back. He was like, yo, you mind if I throw this out at your garbage? Because they won't, you know, that I get charged for it being commercial.
Okay.
But I bought a whole new sofa set for the back. So I haven't even been back there. They got like a whole other room that like I honestly want to check just to see what's popping. Like, is it like
Oh, they
a game
gambling.
room?
They
You know what I
gambling.
mean? Yeah. It's a straight up whole thing.
Oh, wait. Do they have a basement?
They do, but I haven't been there. I don't know that.
Yeah, they gambling. Bruh, that's wild.
Straight up.
Yo,
We out here,
he's
baby.
running
Brooklyn
numbers
changing.
and yo, this is honestly delightfully throwbacky. This
Yeah, it felt a little
truly
that too, right?
it feels real 70s.
Yeah.
'Cause
I got a vibe of that.
yeah, in my memories of being a kid in New York is knowing which store to go into that actually had candy, and which ones
Yeah.
were just called candy stores, but it was nothing but really thick glass and nothing for like where I was just like, "I don't see your candy," you know? But, oh, I gotta go to that one for the actual candy. Like, yeah, so this feels yeah, this
Yeah.
is so throwback. Oh, I I wonder if there's, like, an inverse somewhere. If there's a store that's just but then do women even hang out like that? You
I
know
think,
what I mean?
yeah, like I feel like I think men need spaces like this because they don't know how to hang out in any other way.
Yeah. Have you been seeing anything lately about third spaces or third places, which
No,
is
talk
a
to me.
place that's not your house and not your job, and how those spaces are dwindling? Think of like the mall, or some place where you don't have to buy anything, but just a place where you can just kind of be.
Yeah.
Um, think of like libraries are shutting down all over, and
Oh,
libraries were a good place to be, a third place where you're not at home and you're not at work, but you could just be there. You could read something. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, the mall, even though they have stores where hopefully people are buying stuff, that was a place where kids could kind of go and congregate, and you're just like, I know my kids at the mall. I know
Right,
there are
right.
plenty of other kids at the mall. Like that kind of thing. Those are damn near gone.
Yeah.
Um, you can't go into coffee houses and hang out the way coffee places are now. You gotta go and buy your coffee.
Get out.
You know what I mean? And get out or do work. You know what I mean? No
Yeah,
one's
you need
just,
a purpose.
they're all quiet. No one's there talking, you
Yeah.
know? Um, just third spaces like that. And I think that's what this is.
Yeah. Like
And
it felt like, yeah, because I was like looking at the dudes there and like I would talk with some of them and like it was weirdly like it reminded me of like when I ran like a youth group. Like it was like, yo, it's just like a club to keep people from getting in trouble. They just want to hang out
yes.
somewhere. Like, yo, I gotta blow off steam after work. And anywhere else is either out of my budget or not near my neighborhood. This just lets me kind of chill for a bit before I go to the house. But I need a safe space to do that in. And they're doing it.
Yeah, that's, oh man, that's really great, and I love that kind of happening organically, and I'm just truly fascinated. I just looked up the meaning of a third place. Locations that facilitate social interaction outside of the people you live or work with and encourage public relaxation. They are places where you encounter regulars or frequenters of a space, as well as potential new connections. That's
Uh,
that's great. And I mean, that's kind of what bodegas could be, but he like leaned into it.
yeah. He's in it. Like, this is what they do now.
Man, that's great. I mean, that's weird. And I'm sorry that you now, I mean, you do have a backup sandwich place though,
Yeah,
right?
we got 4 more corner stores, but like
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, yeah, I feel like he can on literally cross any of the corners and he's got a spot. But yes.
it was my place, and like
Mhm.
but like he looked at me funny the first time. I was like 3-4 weeks ago, I crossed the street to get a sandwich. He said, "Why you going over there?" I was like, "You got other shit going on."
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
nothing wrong.
exactly.
It's just you got something else popping here. Be like, it's just different. I still come next door, but like you don't sell this
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, you
And
don't
that's
do
cool.
this.
Yeah, you don't do this. You know what I mean?
You totally have a different purpose, so you have to like accept that you're
Yeah,
gonna lose the people that used, you're gonna lose some of those folk.
yeah, dude. I I noticed it because like potato chips were still the same, certain
Mhm.
drinks were the same, but like Gabby needed rice, and
Mm.
he had like one brand, and
Mm.
like the dude across the street had like 4 brands, 4 sizes, shit like that, or like the bread, like the dude across the street had like a full range of breads. This dude had like 2 loaves.
Right.
And he's
Yeah.
like, yo, this is what I got. And I'm like, I hear you. I'm like, I ain't mad at it. But like, you're not going to be playing A now anymore. Cause
Right,
I know if
exactly.
I go in there, if you have it, it's going to be just this. But if I want to play pool at, 9 p.m. on a Thursday, I'm going to come here, you know? Oh,
Yo,
man. But
wow.
straight up, a full pivot.
That's great. I mean, ultimately good for him and good for everyone around who goes, like your dad, good for you, dad,
Yeah, yo.
to
I
have
saw a
a
little like
spot.
twinkle in my dad's eye. Like he felt like, yo, I remember this from when I was 30 or some shit. I was happy for him.
Yeah. Like that's I mean, having a place, having a cheers type place where you go and people know, like that's wonderful and that is missing. And I personally miss stuff like that, like building there was a spot I used to go to in my 20s in Atlanta called Java Jive. They
Okay.
they had coffee, but they did like breakfast foods, brunch, all that kind of stuff. But they used to be open until like, I don't know, 10 at night or something. And they would have sandwiches and stuff, just very simple little things. And I would go with a friend of mine. We were there at the very least once a week. We had a schedule of different spots we would go to every week. So we were there once or twice a week at night. And then I remember the owner of the place coming up to us and going, "We're going brunch only because we don't do enough at night." And I'm
Yeah.
like, I totally get that. Um, and occasionally I would go for brunch, but my life's different. That guy changed the hours, blah, blah, blah. Um, and when I go back to Atlanta, I occasionally will go in there, right? And the first time I did, it had been I hadn't been in there in a long time, even living there, and then moved to New York and came back and I had been gone from the city, a smooth like 8 years or something like that. I
Yeah.
came in and his wife came over to put the stuff on the table and looked at me and was like, "Hey." I went, "Hello." I was like, I don't know if she recognizes me or not. And
Yeah.
then she went back in, and then her husband came out and was just like, "She told me you were out here. How are you doing?" And I'm like, "Are you?" But like, that's such a nice
That's dope.
feeling because that was a third space for me. Like I was there all the time, and
Hell
he
yeah.
still remembered. That's wild. But I love that. I love the idea of this guy doing that to his space.
Hell yeah, yo. You turn
Yeah.
me around on it, okay?
Well,
I'm
yes.
gonna
I
give
mean,
up my heroes,
I know it was uncomfortable for you because you lost your sandwiches.
but I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna start watching Dominican Lucha Libre.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
hang out
get
there,
into
talk some
get into
shit.
some new sports, talk shit in Spanish. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Bring my son along. Let
Right.
him hear some
Yes.
inappropriate adult men language. But
Absolutely. I
I
mean,
think it's
how is he
important.
gonna Yeah, it's very important. That's
Yeah.
big. Never your daughter. Don't even
Yeah,
make
no,
her
no.
walk all the way around the corner, away from it. Never.
Yeah, nah, that is not for her at all.
No, not at all. No, never, ever.
And we were talking about weird chips. This
Ah.
is my favorite flavor only because of how like long the description is of
Mhm.
Wrap Snacks.
Oh, wow.
Wrap Snacks Little Baby All In flavor has salt and vinegar, barbecue, onion, garlic, and more. Like that is
And
all in the front of the
more?
chip. Yo, my man got like 7 flavors of chip as one chip. That is ambitious.
Nah,
Shouts to Lil Baby.
that's like a take 5 situation where it's just these are the ones that weren't completely charred from all of the vats, is the sweepings of the factory floor.
Oh man, let's get into the news.
Oh, yeah, we haven't even talked about a news story, have we? I'm so excited by this conversion. I'm so taken by this conversion.
Very heavy pivot. Rat poop, bug bites, and mice hair. How many unavoidable defects are in peanut butter and other foods you eat? That's right. Brace
Oh,
yourselves,
my
America.
lord. What do we do?
Many of your favorite foods may have contained bits and pieces of creatures that you probably didn't know were there.
Why?
How much mice dung is in your coffee?
Oh,
Maggots in your
no.
pizza sauce, bug fragments and rat hair in your peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Chocolate lovers, the dark, delicious bar you devoured might contain 30 or more insect parts and a sprinkling of rodent hair. That's right. Apparently,
Why? Why would you do this to me?
while there's no way to get rid of all creatures that might hitch a ride along the food processing chain, the FDA has established standards to keep food defects to a minimum.
Right.
Let's go through a typical day to see what meals you're not aware of that you're eating. For
Why?
breakfast, for example,
No.
coffee beans you grind for breakfast are allowed by the FDA to have an average of 10 milligrams or more animal poop per pound. As
What?
much as 4 to
Or
6%
more?
of beans.
Or more?
it's something to shoot for, Sha. You know, as much as 4 to 6% of beans by count are allowed to be insect infested or moldy. As you sprinkle black pepper on your morning eggs, try not to think about the fact that you may be eating more than 40 insect fragments with every teaspoon, along with a smidgen of rodent hair. And did you have fruits for breakfast? Common fruit flies can catch a ride anywhere from the field to the harvest to the grocery store, getting trapped by processors or freezing in the refrigerated delivery trucks and ending up in your home. For lunch, peanut butter is one of the most controlled foods on the FDA list. Is good to hear. On
Okay.
average, one or more rodent hairs and 30 or so insect fragments, are allowed for every 100 grams, which is 3.5 ounces of peanut butter.
Okay.
Typical serving is 2 tablespoons, unless you slather, which means that 2 tablespoons of peanut butter used on a sandwich would only have about 8 insect fragments and a teensy bit of rodent filth. See, that's not bad.
No, stop it. What gross. This is all terrible.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I when I saw this, it just reminded me of like the sleeping and sleep while you like eat spiders thing.
Yeah, that old chestnut.
Oh man, I just love the idea of like, hey, listen, we can't avoid this as part of the process. Don't think about it. Like as a community, we've just decided.
Yeah, we don't think about it. There are a lot of things that we allow that we just can't think about, or else it will possibly drive us crazy.
Yeah, we'd never
We
eat.
we we clean as best as we can, and some don't even do that, but we really do try to clean as best we can, and then we just let God sort it out. You know what I mean?
That's it.
That's all you can do. You got an animal in your house? You got a dog or a cat? Guess what? Die in front of them before anyone sees you. They're going to eat some of you. They're
Mm-hmm.
going to eat
Love
some,
that
just a
shit.
little bit. Just a little bit.
Who better?
Yeah,
You know?
so like you make your peace with it, but I don't want to know. Ugh. Have you when's the last time you've gotten a hair in your food?
um, I mean, like foreign. I don't know. Like I'm sure I've seen my own hair or something.
Yeah, no,
Take that
someone
out.
else's hair, like you got food from a place and
That I've seen. It's been a long time. I don't feel like I've been disgusted by that in a while.
mm,
How about you?
um the last 2 times, well, they were in different places. One wasn't that long ago. I went to a place, a ramen place, and I was finishing up and I had put the spoon on a different part of the plate than where I had it. And when I picked it up and then went to spoon something else, there was long hair on it. And I
Oh,
wasn't grossed out because I was like, oh, I don't think that was in the food. I think that was on the part wherever I
the
rested my
spoon.
spoon, it picked it up from there. And I also was pretty much done with the food. So I was just like, I'm not going to be grossed out by that. I mean, I'm done eating, sure,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to be like, "Bleh, I'm still coming back to this place. I'm still going to order it. Y'all ain't going to stop me from getting this chicken ramen. How about that?" But and then years that was the most recent one. That was like last year at least.
Okay.
But then there was a time, there was probably about 4 years ago. Definitely before COVID. Um there was a place, some sort of weird pizza place near my job, and they made these oblong pizzas. And you tell them what you want on it, and then they send it through the conveyor belt and they cook it. And I got it and I took it back to the office and I'm eating and I take a bite and I feel a hair in the pizza, in the cheese. And usually
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's in that bite. I take that out. And then if it's not anywhere else, I'm like, ah, shit happens, like I
Right.
don't get to. But it was so intertwined in the pizza. Like I took the bite out and then it wasn't cheese connecting to the rest of the pizza. It was that hair. And it was just so deep. It was so deep in the pizza that I was just like, oh, yuck. I don't feel good. And so I threw that away and I've never been back. I'll never go back.
Yo.
whoever that was, I'm sure that young person, because it was nothing but young people working there. I'm sure they don't even work there anymore. Right? We've had a whole pandemic. Guess what I won't do? I won't eat at that pizza place anymore.
Oh man. If you would like to send Shalewa with new pizza place recommendations, all you gotta do
Actually,
is like, subscribe to the show, baby.
I would gladly take those. Yes.
She'd appreciate all of them.
All of them.
If you're an Apple, Spotify listener, we appreciate your ratings. 4 stars. You enjoy pizza places with hair in them. That's weird, B.
Yeah, that is weird.
You know what I mean? What are you into? That's an odd topping.
That's,
you know what I mean?
that is. It shouldn't be all mixed in with the cheese. Like, I've worked in a pizza place. That's not how that should work.
Only topping worse than pineapple is other people's hair. You know? Yeah, not for me.
Not for you. No.
5 stars. You know that's not what we do here. No hair in our pizza.
No hair in our pizza.
It's a small request, you know. We get it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's literally 3 ingredients, you know, so we didn't want that 4th.
Right.
If you have any articles you want us to cover, please DM us directly on Twitter and Instagram at Silky Jumbo or at Gastor Almonte. Admittedly, we need help because when you leave me alone to pick the articles, sometimes we end up with weird, disgusting food articles, you know, and Shalewa doesn't deserve that.
No,
you know?
no. Who did that? I'm after you.
All me.
Oh,
all
goodness.
Me.
Yeah,
My
no.
bad.
Oh, you found that one? Yes, please send us suggestions. I'm going to have to go through these lists before you start springing them on me. That's my problem. We both have access to these lists, and then I don't look at it. And then I'm until the day we record, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yo.
Why are we?
And I'm like, I'll just see like an interesting thing on Twitter or Facebook. I'm like, oh, I'll read the rest of this with Shy later, you know?
And then it's terrible.
It's this crazy shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm a step that up. Since I'm not doing anything, right, I'll just go ahead and start adding other articles.
With all that said, I am admittedly, was going to order pizza, but now not so sure. Gastor Almonte, you know, with the never ordering from that place again. Shalewa Sharpe.
I'm going to this. I'm gonna go to this new men's club that I heard about over by Gastor.
Oh man, I see you on the corner. Anybody else that wants to make it come through, this is a lounge ready episode of the War Report. Catch y'all next time. Peace.